This one I knew Michael Jordan was crazy. Michael's the most competitive person I've ever been around in my life, so.
There's some first step by Michael Jordan. That is quite a first.
Michael Jordan didn't beat Larry Bird. You showed Michael Jordan going between his legs one time in the highlights, against Larry Bird. And that was the game he got 63.
That's when he dropped 63 on Bird, yes.
But if memory serves me correct, they got swept. No, not lost. They got swept.
And they walk in the room. They're in the room. You got an energy in there. Michael Jordan walk in there, the energy totally changed. It's a total different thing when Michael Jordan comes in the room compared to everybody else. He's not the only.
There was a game where Michael Jordan didn't just play basketball, he challenged an entire era built around Larry Bird's control of the league. From the first whistle, something felt off, like the atmosphere itself knew history could tilt in real time. Fans still debate what they saw that night because it didn't feel like a normal win or loss. It felt like a statement. But was Bird tested more than ever, or was Jordan proving something deeper?
In fact, he was your main inspiration. Is that not right?
Yeah, he did. Larry used to be a very talented basketball player. He still is. And whenever I was about his height, he used to wear me out in the backyard. And I guess from that determination just to beat him, I guess that made me work hard. Mm-hmm. And, he's just an outstanding basketball player at his height.
Half of the game against the Celtics Thursday. Jordan trying to fake Bird, can't do it.
So if I said Michael Jordan, what would you say?
I think unbelievable. I mean, I can tell you some things that happened in the games against us. One time I turned, I jumped, and he still went. His knees almost hit me in the chin. And that's when I realized that this guy's pretty special for his jumping ability, but cat quick. He closed down a pass lane as fast as anybody ever seen, and just a phenomenal player.
Fans thought they already knew how this would end. Just another night, another rising star stepping into the league's spotlight and getting a reality check. But inside that arena, something felt different from the very beginning. Like the air itself knew history was about to tilt.
Warfare at the drop of a ball.
The '84 Olympic team was playing an exhibition game against a bunch of pros, including Larry Bird, and they were in the warm-ups. And a ball bounced down from the college end of the court to the pro end. And Michael Jordan went down to chase it. The ball happened to be picked up by Larry Bird. And Michael went up a few feet away from Larry Bird and held out his hands. And Bird took the ball and fired it back down the court over Jordan's head, as if to say, you're not only not getting this ball, I don't give a damn who you are. Larry Bird knows exactly who this guy is.
I heard one story say he kicked the ball.
And he wants to get every edge he can get right now.
Bird, Parrish, Thomas, and Paxson, not a bad lineup for any NBA team. That's right. Bird coming up with a loose ball. He came to play.
Good pass.
Great play. Michael takes it anyway. Oh, what a move.
The 23-year-old Michael Jordan wasn't just playing basketball. He was walking into Larry Bird's world with a level of confidence that didn't ask for permission. And with every possession, the balance of power started to feel a little less certain, like the script everyone expected was quietly being rewritten in real time.
To help all the time, but he had his outside shot going so well that he really didn't need to penetrate that much. But it was an incredible playoff performance. I've never seen it before, and I had never seen it after. That wasn't Michael Jordan out there. It was God disguised as Michael Jordan.
And then something small happened. Something nobody in that arena thought twice about at first. A loose ball rolled across the floor during warm-ups, drifting from the college side all the way toward the pros like it didn't belong anywhere specific. Most players didn't even react, just another warm-up moment, nothing worth attention. But Michael Jordan did.
Few that have that kind of
And
aura.
Larry Bird wasn't
No, not to me. No.
You've overtaken the show. That's one of the hottest takes I've ever been authored.
It's a totally different.
Do you agree with that?
It's a different feeling. I'm telling you.
Larry was a bad man. Listen,
he was a bad man.
Away from what Larry did.
Nothing.
Not taking anything away from what he did for the game of basketball.
You can't put him on the same level, but transformative as Michael Jordan?
I'm with
you. Man, listen, I'm with it. And I know both y'all, so I'm not even remotely trying to put y'all in a bad light. I'm just legitimately trying to understand. Trust me, I'm saying this authentically and not trying to put you in a bad, but is any of this like black players don't respect Larry Bird?
He broke away from the group and chased it down like it mattered, like even a meaningless possession had a scoreboard attached to it. Step by step, he closed the distance, picked it up cleanly, and in that split second, it didn't feel like a simple retrieval anymore. It felt like intent. because across the floor, watching from the other end, were players like Larry Bird, veterans who had already built their reputations, their dominance, their comfort zone. And Jordan wasn't just returning a ball, he was sending a message before the game had even started. Jordan answered the only way he knew how. He dropped 34 points, explosive, fearless, impossible to ignore. But the scoreboard told the rest of the story. Boston still walked away with a 12-point win, and with it, the sense that experience still ruled the night. Bird would later acknowledge the talent, the potential, the danger in what Jordan was becoming. But at that moment, the league hierarchy didn't shift. It stayed exactly where it was. The dynasty aura didn't crack. It simply watched and waited.
I know we started Dennis Johnson out on him, and then we went with Danny Ainge, myself, which it was really easy then when I started guarding him. Then Bill Walton, and we was trying to run him to help all the time, but he had his outside shot going so well that he really didn't need to penetrate that much.
Got it! 63 for Larry Bird was left speechless after he seen Michael Jordan's jumping ability firsthand. So during a conversation with Magic Johnson, Larry Bird recalled the first time he seen Michael Jordan take off. One time I turned, I jumped, and he still went. His knees almost hit me in the chin, and that's when I realized that this guy's pretty special for his jumping ability. Heck quick, he closed down the passing lane as fast as anybody I've ever seen. And that almost needed chin was a wake-up call for Larry Bird. You see, MJ had an astounding 48-inch vert. That's way higher than even the average NBA player. And it's
But then something changed. Not in the standings, not in the headlines, and definitely not in the championship predictions. The Boston Celtics were still basketball royalty, still sitting on top of the NBA like a dynasty carved out of pure confidence and experience. Larry Bird was still the king of that world, collecting MVP trophies like overdue mail and leading one of the greatest rosters the league had ever seen. What changed was Michael Jordan. Because after that first clash with Bird, Jordan did not leave feeling intimidated. He left obsessed. Every hard foul, every double team, every Celtics celebration only added fuel to the fire. The league thought the young guard had been taught a lesson. Jordan walked away believing he had found the challenge he wanted most. And by 1986, he came back looking for revenge. What happened next still feels almost impossible to explain because it was not just a great playoff performance, it felt personal. It felt disrespectful to basketball logic itself. Nobody was supposed to walk into Boston Garden during the peak of the Larry Bird era and make the Celtics look vulnerable, especially not a second-year player coming off a broken foot on an 8th-seeded team. But Michael Jordan did exactly that. On paper, the series was supposed to be a quick execution.
Yeah, y'all being disrespectful. I said, what are we doing? He says, y'all got a white guy trying to guard me. I remember one time we were playing the Celtics, talking to Larry, who was amazing. So it's my team at this point, because Doc and Moses are gone, and Larry says, Chuck, can I talk to you a second? I said, sure, what's up, LB? He says, yo, man, y'all being disrespectful to me. I said, Larry, I would never let one of my players be disrespectful. He's like, yeah, y'all being disrespectful. I said, what are we doing? He says, y'all got a white guy trying to guard me.
Michael, what kind of relationship did you really have with Larry Bird?
Honestly, that guy was annoying, not loud, annoying, the kind of annoying where you guard him perfectly and he still drives you crazy. I remember one game he walked up to me and said, hey, Mike, I'm going to catch it on the left side fadeaway off the glass. I'm thinking, all right, go ahead, try it.
The Celtics had just completed a 67-win season, one of the greatest regular seasons in NBA history. Boston was loaded from top to bottom with Hall of Fame talent. Larry Bird was playing at an MVP level, averaging 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists while controlling games with the calm arrogance of somebody who already knew he was the smartest player on the floor. Around him was a basketball super team before the term even existed. Kevin McHale punished defenders in the post like a machine programmed to score. Robert Parrish anchored the paint with quiet dominance. Dennis Johnson brought elite defense and championship experience. Every mistake could be covered by another star. Meanwhile, the Chicago Bulls looked nothing like contenders. Jordan had broken his foot just 3 games into the 1985 season and missed 64 games. Chicago barely survived without him, stumbling through the year trying to hold on to a playoff spot. When Jordan returned late in the season, the Bulls went just 7-11 in his final 18 games. They finished with only 30 wins and entered the playoffs as the 8th seed. Nobody viewed them as a threat. The Celtics were expected to sweep them so quickly that some fans probably treated the series like a warm-up before the real playoffs started.
And the dream team.
Yeah, amazing. So historically speaking, now the last amateur team to win a gold medal, because 88 we lost and 92 the dream team came in. That team was loaded. That was a great.
Who was on that team in 84?
That was, let me say everyone. Michael, Patrick. Obviously
that's
Michael.
A squad, though. That's a squad.
That was Michael's ultra coming out party.
Yeah.
I had mentioned Michael, Patrick, Charles. We were all in the same high school class. I had saw Michael the first time in the McDonald's All-American game. And people tell me this now, like 30 years later. I don't really remember it, but you know how sometimes you make comments when they said, man, you came back from the McDonald's game and said you saw the greatest play you ever saw. I'm like, I don't really remember that, but.
As a teenager.
Yeah. And I played against a lot of great players in New York.
Even Jordan, despite averaging 28 points as a rookie and already showing flashes of superstardom, was still seen as a brilliant young scorer trapped on a mediocre team. People respected him. Nobody feared him yet. Game 1 on April 18, 1986, seemed to confirm every expectation. Boston won 123-104, controlling most of the game behind their overwhelming depth and experience. Bird scored 30 points, McHale added 27 points and 10 rebounds. Parrish finished with 23 points and 10 rebounds. Every Celtics defender took turns trying to slow him down, and none of it mattered. He attacked the rim relentlessly, pulled up over contests, absorbed contact, and somehow looked completely unfazed by the atmosphere around him. Still, Boston won easily enough that most people ignored the warning signs. Inside the Celtics locker room, confidence remained untouched. The crowd smelled a sweep. Analysts talked about Jordan's talent while still treating him like a future problem rather than a current threat. After the game, reporters asked Jordan whether one player could really beat a team like Boston.
That was a team that, our fans hated them. People, it was like the countries divided between the Lakers and the Celtics. Mm-hmm. We thought about them all season long. Matter of fact, we beat them in 84. At that time, I actually thought they were a little better than us. 85, I thought we were better than them, and they beat us.
Yeah.
And then 86, like our entire season was like every day we thought about the Lakers.
Looked at them in the paper.
Yeah, I mean, it's just us and the Lakers, and we're watching, and it's a great motivation for us because we're going to get them in 86, and then they get beat.
Jordan's answer sounded almost calm, but underneath it sat a dangerous level of belief. If one man could keep the Celtics uncomfortable for an entire game, that man was him. 2 days later, Boston Garden learned exactly what he meant. Game 2 on April 20th started with a completely different energy. Over 14,000 fans packed into the Garden expecting another Celtics victory, but from the opening minutes, Jordan played like somebody trying to challenge the entire city by himself. Every touch carried pressure. Every drive looked violent. Even Larry Bird occasionally stepped into Jordan's path when he attacked baseline. The Celtics built a collapsing wall around him. Jordan attacked anyway. He sliced through double teams like they were defensive suggestions instead of actual obstacles. He rose over defenders with impossible body control, spinning through traffic and finishing shots that looked physically impossible. The Garden crowd reacted with that strange mix of excitement and fear that only appears when greatness starts becoming undeniable.
Michael Jordan is like, for basketball for me, he's the end-all be-all. Like, he's the best player I've ever seen. I believe he's the best player I'll ever see. I believe he'll be the best player a million years from now. I really believe that. I believe he is the best ever.
What do you think about him? Like, what, if you had to sum it up? Because I try to explain it to my wife.
Right.
I didn't never see him play.
Right. Well, put it like this. Invest point this out to me. Michael Jordan is so good that when somebody else is the top of the top, the great in their sport, they'll say David Beckham is the Michael Jordan of soccer, right? Like.
And the scariest part was that Jordan was not forcing bad shots. He was controlling the game. Chicago came out firing early and led 33-25 after the first quarter. Jordan was brilliant without even looking overheated yet. By halftime, he already had 23 points, and the Bulls surprisingly led 58-51. Boston looked irritated. Not panicked yet, but irritated. Because dynasties are comfortable when games follow the expected script. This game was drifting somewhere unfamiliar. In the third quarter, the Bulls pushed the lead back into double digits. Boston started changing defensive assignments constantly, desperately searching for something that might slow Jordan down. Dennis Johnson face-guarded him aggressively. The Celtics' big men shaded toward him before he even touched the ball. Nothing worked. Boston regained the lead and started turning defense into transition offense, exactly the way they had done all season. When Danny Ainge finished a fast break layup to put Boston ahead 104-100, it looked like the Celtics were finally restoring order. Jordan refused to let it happen. Moments later, he isolated Kevin McHale on the perimeter, blew past him, and hammered home a baseline dunk that instantly sucked the calm out of the building.
Best player by far as a junior in college.
That's crazy.
And everybody knew it. And then in LA, which was sick. It was fun, man, having the Olympics in LA.
Yeah. Do you remember that infamous practice that Magic always talks about?
Oh,
that was Dream Team.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'll give you one infamous practice.
Michael Jordan is the greatest player I've ever watched. He is the greatest player I've ever watched.
Okay.
On the next possession, he blocked a Robert Parrish drive, sprinted back down court, and buried a jumper to give himself 50 points and Chicago the lead. Boston regained a 116-114 lead with under 30 seconds remaining. But even then, nobody inside the Garden looked comfortable anymore. Bird missed a jumper. Parrish grabbed the rebound, but Jordan stripped the ball loose, giving Chicago one final chance. John Paxson inbounded the ball to Jordan in the backcourt. Jordan raced forward, pulled up from behind the arc for his first three-point attempt of the game, and missed. But Kevin McHale fouled him. The Garden erupted in disbelief. McHale could not believe the whistle. Celtics fans screamed at the officials. Boston players looked stunned. Boston trapped him harder in the second overtime, trying to force the ball out of his hands. Jordan briefly stalled at 59 points, and for a moment, it looked like exhaustion might finally catch him. Then, he exploded again. He hit a jumper over Danny Ainge to tie Elgin Baylor's playoff record of 61 points. Moments later, he drove past McHale and finished over Parrish for 63 points, tying the game once more and leaving the Garden crowd in complete disbelief.
Give me some of your fondest memories of the Showtime teams.
I think just the crowd. I love the fact that we played at the Forum. I don't think we would have had that same aura, allure, had we been at Staples Center, because the Forum was real intimate. It was close setting. The fans were right there up on us. They could reach out and touch us. You can hear them. If I had any memories, was finally beating the Celtics in '85, because, you know, us growing up here in L.A., you from Inglewood, I'm from Pasadena. All those years watching the Lakers and Celtics series, and Lakers never could get over that hump. So '85 would be probably my most glorious moment, because we did something that no Laker team could do.
That became his final basket of the night. Ironically, it was not Bird, McHale, or Parrish who finally delivered the dagger for Boston. It was Jerry Sixting, a reserve guard rarely trusted with meaningful playoff moments. With under a minute remaining in double overtime, Sixting drilled a clutch 18-footer that gave Boston a 133-131 lead. The Celtics finally created breathing room after Bird connected with Parrish on a pick-and-roll basket moments later. Chicago ran out of answers. Orlando Woolridge airballed a desperation three at the buzzer, and Boston escaped with a 135-131 victory. Escaped. That is the key word. Because despite winning, the Celtics did not celebrate like a dynasty protecting its crown. They reacted like survivors stumbling away from danger. Jordan finished with 63 points, still the highest single-game scoring performance in NBA playoff history. He shot 22 of 41 from the field and 19 of 21 from the free throw line while playing 53 out of 58 minutes. And almost every basket came the hard way. Most of his offense came off the dribble against contested defenders. Jordan built 63 playoff points almost entirely through drives, mid-range jumpers, body control, and relentless aggression. He was not just scoring either. He led Chicago with 6 assists while constantly forcing Boston's defense into impossible decisions. It was one.
Why is it so easy for you to give him his props?
And if you ain't ever faced him, you don't understand. If you ain't ever faced Mike, you can't make that comment. When you
performances basketball has ever witnessed. And Larry Bird knew it immediately. Bird himself was magnificent that night, finishing with 36 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists. McHale added 27 points and 15 rebounds. 6 Celtics players scored in double figures. After the game, Bird delivered the quote that would echo through basketball history forever. He said the performance was unlike anything he had ever seen. The Celtics still swept Chicago 3-0. Boston still went on to defeat the Houston Rockets in the finals and capture the 1986 NBA championship. Bird still averaged nearly a triple-double in the finals while securing the 3rd title of his career. But after that series, the conversation around Michael Jordan completely changed. The following season, Jordan won his first scoring title by averaging more than 37 points per game. Then, he kept winning them over and over again until the league finally accepted what Bird had already realized inside that arena. Michael Jordan was not simply another superstar, he was the next ruler of basketball. That night in 1986 may not have changed the Bulls' season, but it changed the trajectory of NBA history forever.